Hello, guys. My name is Desmond. A very warm welcome to my lesson for today, where we will be looking at mathematics. So, obviously, corrections is what we will be doing in today's lesson. So, ladies and gentlemen, please do allow me to say it is very much important that I say it is very, very much important because Bosisi way, what I'm about to say, it's massively, massively, massive. Hey, massively important, ladies and gentlemen, that I say a day without learning something new, it's a day wasted. By so saying, please, honorable members, please, 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 please do make sure that by the end of each and every lesson that I conduct, you learn something new. Very, very much important, ladies and gentlemen, over there. So this is what we are given as a question number 2. Maybe let me note there to say this is question number 2 that we'll be starting with, obviously, for grade 12. So this is a test that you guys wrote on Saturday. So just in case if you did not have an opportunity to write this test, do not worry that much. Just make sure that that information that was sent in the group, you just quickly have a look at that. So that means in your case, you will just be learning what we have already done. Most importantly, you might be joining my lesson for the very first time. So also in that case, do not worry that much. We've got all the past lessons recorded. You can quickly catch up. So we are just doing the corrections under a number pattern, sequence, and series, but we are actually on functions. We have started with functions. So that means today it's only going to be the corrections, and then we'll continue from where we left off. Which means once we are done with functions, you will write a test and we move on to the next chapter. I will communicate in terms of what the next chapter will be. So let's see. Yes, this is the right question that we are doing for today. So we are having this question, I think question 3 and question 4, then we'll be done with the corrections of this test. But for the last time, Segio, I see there's Segio Kwazimdaka. Guys, can you confirm? Is it clear there? Can you clearly hear me? Is it not blurry? Can you guys clearly hear me when I speak?
Yes, we can hear you clearly.
Hello, I come back. I'm not really sure what happened there, but let me just quickly check if this thing is still recording. Yes, still recording. For the last time, did you guys confirm that it is clear there?
Yes, we can hear you clearly.
Okay, 100%. So let's see. Question number 2, we are given the arithmetic series being that. Bantu bakit, very, very much important that you understand the type of a problem that you are dealing with. But just for the sake of those who are attending my lesson for the very first time. So how we do it, you just make a first bullet, second bullet, and then third bullet. And always you do that when you're dealing with a sequence and series. The first bullet, you write type. So just make sure that you write that down on your notepad. Type, and then once you know the type of a sequence or series that you're dealing with, it's either you find the difference or the ratio. And then once you've done that, that's when you can look at the questions. So those are the 3 things that you need to consider. But most importantly, now, lady, we did discuss to say we've got what we call the number patterns and series. Maybe let me do this and say we've got a what we call a number pattern, or if you like, you can call them a sequence. It refers to one and the same thing. And then again, we have series. These are two different things. So now, how many patterns or sequences have we studied? We have studied an arithmetic, of which in other ways you can call it a linear. Doesn't matter which word you use. It's either you say arithmetic or linear. It refers to one and the same thing. We also studied geometric. We also studied quadratic. What are these things, Bantu Bagiti? We call these things pattern or sequence. But how do you know this is a pattern and how do you know this is a sequence? Remember, you have term 1, it's separated by that semicolon. Once you see that means you're dealing with a pattern or a a sequence. But now, the moment you start having a term, which could be term 1, whatever number, in between, you have a sign of a plus followed by another term 2, you have a sign of a plus, term 3. Good people, this is a symbol for pattern and this is a symbol for a series. So we also said under series, we only study linear or arithmetic and metric, no quadratic under series. So here comes a very quick question. Here, are we dealing with a number pattern or numbers, a sequence, or is it a series, and why? What are we dealing with there? Sibhekane nani? Kujo, do you not want to give it a guess, honorable member? Someone is saying something. What are we dealing with?
Series.
Yes. Someone might be confused to say, I'm seeing -7 there, but here it's -3 and it's not a plus in between. Remember, guys, if you have 2 and then you have plus -4, at the end of the day, this thing, it is the same as 2 minus 4. So it's more like this negative, it overpowers that positive. So just know that here you actually have -7 plus -3. So just to show that you're coming from good hands, you will write it in that manner. Meaning, term 1, it's a -7, and then term 2, it's a -3, and then term 3, it's a +1, and then the terms continue, and this is the last term. Very, very much. So that means the moment you see dots and then followed by the last number, just know that this it's actually a pattern that starts from -7 and it ends there. And in between, there are those terms of which at this stage you might not know how many they are. So let's make a tick. Can you see? We now know the type of a problem that we are dealing with. What type of a problem is that? It is an arithmetic series. It could be a geometric series, but never a quadratic series. So that means you have arithmetic series or geometric series. So now we already know that this is an arithmetic series. So that means we need to determine the difference, which is the common difference. How do we do that? Obviously, you say this minus that, this minus that, and you expect to find a common difference, of which I call it the first CD. What is the C for common? What is the D for the difference? So why first? Because you find the common difference by first difference. So let's see, what is -3 minus -7? I think it's more like 7 minus 3. Let's see, -3 minus -7. Yes, it actually gives us 4. So now let's see, what about 1 minus -3? Is it not 4? It's 4. So can you guys see? We have just confirmed that indeed that type that we understand is actually having the first common difference, which is for that D. If it was for geometric, then it means you would find the ratio. So now let's quickly have a look at our very first question. And the question says, let's see, this is 2.1. It says, how many terms are there in the series? How many terms are there in the series? So just in case if you've got two devices, just make sure that you forward that question paper that I sent in the group to another device so that you'll be able to read the question paper on this device and use the other one to watch. Normally, the other learners would use their sisters or brothers' phone just for this lesson. So let's quickly check something, Bantu Bagiti. We do know very well that we're dealing with an arithmetic, and the formula associated with an arithmetic, we know that it is that one of Tn, it's equals to it's A plus into N minus 1D. I'm pretty much sure that at this stage, everyone is familiar with that formula, and we did discuss deeply in terms of what that formula means. Okay, so obviously we know that this is our last term of this is the nth term, of which the last term is 137. So that is where you are going to equate the whole of that to 137, where you know your A value, it's -7, and N, it's actually what you are looking for. And then D, you just calculated it. I'm pretty much sure that you still remember how we made a story to say N refers to the stand number, and then this one, it refers to how many people are staying in that stand number. So now we are at that stage where we just easily answer the question because the question itself, it's easy. So let's see. This is where you need to be very careful. Is the last term a negative or a positive number? It's a positive number. That's why you write positive 137. You equate it to, very much important, your A value is a negative value. Always, 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 always. Kucho at all the times. Make sure that when you substitute a negative number, you substitute it inside the brackets. So let's see. What is our D? D, we just calculated it. It is 4. So can you see? Very much important that you start there, you do that, and then you attend to the questions, which is what we are doing now. So remember, guys, all of you guys are in grade 12. At this stage, you are not at a stage where we are teaching you on how to solve a maths problem, but we actually teach you the concept to say, if a question is given in that manner, you should be careful of 1, 2, 3, and then this is what we do. So I assume almost everyone is done working out that problem. So that means we are having that which is equals to -7. What is that by that? That by that is that. That by that is that. Now we are talking Chinese. So this is what you would do. How about you take that to the other side and then you also transpose that? Meaning you're having 173 plus 7 plus 4. You equate everything to 4n. So now what is the whole of that? I think this is 180 and then it becomes 184. So it's more like you're having 184, which is equals to 4n. Remember, Bantu Bagiti, remember, I said a stand number will always be a number which is just from 1, it could be 2, 3, 4. The moment you have 1, 2, 3, as your answer for n, just know you've done something wrong. The moment you have a fraction as your n, just know you've done something wrong. A fraction or a decimal, it could be for Tn, but never for n. So now that means you need to get rid of that 4. That's why you divide both sides by exactly 4 so that it cancels. So now that means your n is equals to, what is that? I don't trust you guys, so I'm going to punch it by myself. Yebo. This is what I'm getting. Is it everyone who's getting that value? Is it everyone who's getting that value? Bantu bakit.
Yes, sir.
Okay, this is where you give yourself a mark. So give yourself a mark for you substituting for there. And also give yourself a mark on that same step for correct substitution of everything. And then lastly, give yourself a mark there. So this question, it was allocated 3 marks. So remember, guys, in the end, we are going to have whatever that you got out of a total. So once we are done with this lesson, you're going to send me, just like the grade 10s did yesterday, someone I think got 14 out of 15 from their test. So you will also send me these, and then some, I think the lowest it was 2 out of 15. So from this one, I noticed the mistakes that they made. It was those silly mistakes of which, when I do my lessons, I do make you aware of those type of silly mistakes. Some of them not finishing on time, some of them spending a lot of time on one question, but the procedure, it is the same. So you don't fail because you don't know, but you fail because of some minor mistake which costs you everything. So now, I'm going to quickly move on to the next question. I'm pretty much sure that this question was easy and straightforward. So we will remember that we have our n being 46 terms for those. So it's more like this is a street that has 46 stand numbers. In stand number 1, there are 7 people staying, 3 people staying, 1 people, no, 1%. Da, 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 da. Then the last stand number, which is stand number 46, it has 173 people staying in that stand number. Okay, so now let's quickly check. Remember, guys, someone might feel like I'm a bit faster. This is simply because we are actually redoing this. We have already done it. Almost everyone is aware of what I'm talking about. So I'm just trying to make sure that within the allocated time, we finish off this question paper. I noticed some of you guys did well, some did not do well, but just make sure that you give yourself marks. Be honest with yourself. If you got 3 out of total, write 3 out of total. It is going to help you, to help me to be able to help you. Very, very much important, ladies and gentlemen, that you become honest at all the times. So now, calculate the sum of the series. Guys, the word the sum, you only find it under series. So that is why they'll always say the sum of series. The moment they say the sum of the series, pull out the formula, Bantibagiti. That's your weapon to fight this question. What is the formula associated with an arithmetic series? If you remember from your notes, Bantibagiti, we said it's only this formula, which is Sn is equals to n over 2. You do that bracket of the corners. You say 2a, and then you plus it with n minus 1. You close, you've got your d there, and then you are having that closing. Remember, you only have these corners when you have some brackets inside those. So these are the bigger brackets, and then you have the normal ones, and then it closes. Okay, what exactly are we calculating? The sum of series. So the whole of this is actually what we are calculating. That is exactly what we are calculating. So when they say calculate the sum of the set, it's more like you are having a series which is 2 plus, let's say, what is it, 4, and then plus you are having, let's say, 6, plus you are having, let's say, 8. When they say calculate the sum, They're basically saying add this plus that plus that plus that. If it was a negative value, you just add it as a negative value. For example, if it's like this, it's more like you're going to say 2 plus negative that plus negative that plus negative that. Then it gives you the sum. That is what we call the sum. The word sum means plus. But now, in this case, whereby here you can say this plus that is 6, 6 plus that is 12, 12 plus that, what is it? I think it's 20. Then you can easily say the sum of that series is 20. But in this case, why can't you say negative 7 plus negative 3 plus 1? Hey, you see, you don't have the numbers in between, and it might be too much to add by 4 until you get to that, and then you add everything. That is why you now use this formula. It's a shortcut of you not having to go through that lengthy process of adding everything. So look at how this works, Bantibagiti. Remember, it is the sum that we are calculating. The sum of how many terms? Is it not 46 terms? So that means wherever I see n, I'm going to substitute 46. There is over 2. We're having, hey, what is our a value? A value is always the first term of the sequence or the series. So that means you are going to have a plus, and I said is 46 minus 1. You close. What is your d? Is it not 4? Then you're having that. Good people, all you do is just to punch all of that on your calculator. So remember, guys, just in case if you've got a question, feel free to interrupt and ask me a question. I know this is pretty much easy because we've done it many times, and I'm sure some of you guys are bored because it looks like one of those easy questions. But make sure to mark for yourself so that we see how much. Okay, what are you guys getting from your side? I'm getting a 737,655 million. No. Listen very carefully. I'm getting 48,000. Hey, what are you guys getting there? I'm getting big numbers here. Kucha Tobejan, Otolani la.
I got 3,818.
3,218.
Yes. 3,818. Bantu bakithi, I'm telling you guys, if you find this type of problems easy, it is a very good indication that you guys are well prepared for final examinations, because this is one of the final previous exam papers that some other honorable members wrote during their time. But look at you guys, still January, but you're able to answer these questions. I'm telling you guys, most of you guys are going to pass very well with your June examination. It only happens if you do not miss any of my lessons. So otherwise, if you miss, you catch up. So let's see. Also 3 marks this question. I will tell you where I'm going to give you the marks. So for you to correctly substitute that, I'm going to give you a mark. And for you to correctly substitute the A value and the D value, I'm going to give you a mark. Lastly, this is where you get yourself your last mark. So just give yourself 3 marks where the marks are due. So if you substituted and did not give a final answer, just give yourself 2 marks there. So now quickly we can look at that last question. But before I continue, are you guys sure that I'm not losing you in any way? Are we still together, Bantu Bakit? Libandla la kaNkulunkulu. Sisase sonke.
Yes, sir.
The Umis, are you okay that side?
Yes, sir.
I see TM. I'm not sure what TM stands for. I'm also not sure if you forgot A to make it ATM. Okay, so let's see. The last question says, write the series in sigma notation, sigma notasi. So sigma notation. So sigma notation, bantu bakithi, you need to remember at all the times that it is actually a representation of all of that. You only do a sigma notation when you're dealing with series. So always expect such a question under series. So the very first thing that you need to do, it is to do that. If you know that you've got, but wait, how many stand numbers have we got for that? Is it not 46? So that is why you will therefore write 46 there at the top to say, for this arithmetic series, we are having 46 terms. So it's more like that number at the top, it tells us more about the number of terms. And then now, this is the position where you are going to give the general formula or the nth term, if I can put it that way. And I think we've actually done that on our first question, even though it was not simplified. But generally, this is where you put the nth term. What is the nth term for that? I remember we had negative. Remember the nth term, it comes from this formula of Tn is equals to A plus into 1, that minus. What is A? A is that. Plus, what is that? That, it is just n minus 1. And then we know that is 4. So it's more like you had to simplify all of this. Let's maybe quickly simplify that. What are we having? So it's more like we end up having a negative 7 plus 4n minus 4. It ends up being 4n. This 2, I think, is negative 11. So this is what you write there. So that is why I'm going to remove all of these and write a simplified format of the nth term. What is the nth term, guys? I think we just got, what is it? Did I say that? I think this is what I said. So this is the position where you write the nth term, whereby you need to make sure that obviously this formula it's starting from that first term where n it's equals to 1. So it's more like you are saying it starts at stand number 1 and then it ends at stand number 46. But now, how many people are staying in each stand number? This is the formula that you then use to say, if I say 4 into the first stand number and then minus 11, it's going to give you that negative 7. If you want to test how many people are staying in stand number 2, you are then going to put 2 there. It's going to give you negative 3. If you want to know how many people are staying in stand number 3, you are going to put a 3 there, and then you punch all of that, it gives you 1. And then if you want to know how many people are staying in stand number, the last stand number being 46, you punch 46 in there, it's going to give you all. But most importantly, what examiner actually expected you to provide as an answer to that question. It's not all that I'm explaining now. Maybe let me just remove all of that and say they just wanted you to provide this, to say this is that total number of stand numbers is 46, starting from where n is equals to 1, and the general formula is 4n minus 11. This is all that examiner wanted. So that means for every given series, you can always rewrite it in a sigma notation. So that means it can either be given as that, and you need to rewrite it as that, or it's given as that and you need to rewrite it as that. But now, if for some reason it's given in this manner and you need to rewrite it as that, you then need to say n is equals to 1. That's where you start. Sometimes here it could be 2, it could be 3, it could be 4. But whatever number that you are having there, you start with it to substitute there. If n is 4 here, you start by 4, then you get an answer, you write it. Then you do a plus in between, you test with 5, it gives you a number, you write it. That's your term, your next term, and then you use another number. Then you form a series. Then you can do that by that by that to check if it gives you the D or the R. I'm just exposing you to other possible questions. So this is what you need to provide, and this question was allocated 3 marks. So I'm going to give you a mark there, and there. That's how you score yourself 3 marks. Give yourself a very big 0 in case if you got it wrong. Bantu Bagit, any question before I quickly move on to the next question? Ntwanambi Chumi the Chumis, are you sure you don't have a question, honorable member? I think Endinako has got a question. Endinako, go for it, honorable member.
I'm so sorry, sir, but the n equals to 1, I am not really sure where it comes from.
The m is equals to 1. It comes from the fact that on the given series, our starting term, it starts at term number 1. So that's where the N1 comes from. So it's more like what we are given. It starts from term number 1 until term number 46.
Okay, so thank you, sir. I see it now.
Yes. So sometimes when it's given in sigma notation, it's not always where they will start at where n is equals to 1. For example, they can start at where n is term number 3. So that means they're going to put in 3 there. That means they are actually giving you a series in sigma notation, but starting from term number 3. Something of that nature, if you get me. So it's going to make a perfect sense when we do an actual question that has a series given in that format. Then you will see how we work it out. Remember, guys, this is what we are trying to achieve. So I want to make sure that by June, we have actually covered, let's say, at least 90% of the syllabus. I know there are some who will be writing their examinations in June. That's why they chose those extra lessons. So that means by June, before June or May, let's say May, we should be done with mathematics. And then for those of you guys who are in grade 12, starting from May or whatever, it's just revision. And most importantly, as we do not close Bantu Bagiti, when you go for holidays and whatever, we don't close. The day I'm going to say pens down, for me to be markers down, that's after your maths November examination. That's when we stop. But otherwise, we just roll on. The reason why I'm confident that it is possible that by May you'll be done with everything is because myself, I finished mathematics in March. I was just going around after March trying to teach my neighboring school so that I don't forget. So it is possible. So quickly, let's move on to question number 3. But wait, I think I saw some new names in this lesson. I just want to make sure that we are on this. Naleri Matiberi. Naleri
Yes, sir.
Segio Nkwela. TM, ATM. Guys, are you sure I'm not losing you? Are we still together? Is your network okay that side? Is my network?
Yeah, everything's fine, sir.
Everything good?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so let's see. We are having a 3.1. 3 point. Oh, guys, before I forget, this is our very last lesson of mathematics in this group. Very, very much important, Bantu Bagiti. It's our very last lesson in this group. So we used lessons in this group to conduct trial lessons. So that means those who started with us from the 2nd of this month until today, they were on trial lessons just to expose you to how we conduct lessons. So in case if you haven't paid or they paid but you didn't send proof of payment, you might find yourself not having access to all of our groups tomorrow, as admin will be going through those who paid and those who did not. Those who did not will be removed. You might have paid but not sent proof of payment, you will be removed. It's unfortunate I don't have control on that, but please, 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 guys, I'm hoping to see you in the grade 12 classroom where we'll be doing our mathematical lessons. So just make sure that if you're in grade 12, join the grade 12 classroom. Under attend live lessons, if you click there are links to direct you into specific groups. So let's see. Quickly, they are saying consider a geometric sequence. A geometric sequence. And this is the sequence given. It's 4, it's -2, it's that. But wait, what gives you the confidence that this is a sequence? You see, we've got semicolons there. Then we know we're dealing with a sequence and not a series. So now we know the type, geometric. So do we find the difference or the ratio? It is the ratio because it is a geometric. So the ratio means something over something. So now, what is -2/4? Is it not -half? I think it's -half. What is 1 divided by -2? Is it not -half? It's -half. So can you see? We are done with our second bullet. So now, moving on to the third bullet, which is our questions. So let's see what questions we are. So the first question being 3.1.1, it says determine the next term of the sequence. And that question is allocated 2 marks. Determine the next term of the sequence. Guys, never get too excited and give too much of what is not needed. You just need to remember that to move on to the next term under geometric, you multiply. Since you go in that direction with a division, let me actually be practical and put it there to say for you to get these two values, you actually went in that direction to say that divided by that divided by that by division. So that means if you go in that direction, you go by multiplication. Just like if you go up with a positive, you reverse with a negative. So those are the signs. That's the correlation between those signs. So let's see. Now, it's more like you're going to say 1 multiplied by a -half. What is that, Bantibagit? What is that? Is it not -half?
Root of 1/2.
Yes. Yes. -1/2. So that means an answer to that question is -1/2. So by so doing, give yourself 2 marks for that question. It was an easy and straightforward question. So let's see. 3.1.2. Determine n. If n, determine n if the nth term is that. If the nth term is equals to 1 over 64. Yes, yes. I'm pretty much sure that you guys, when you come across this type of a question, you stress a lot. But I'm telling you, we remember very well that in this case where they say determine the nth term, uh, I'm not sure if you guys have got an idea of how to work out this problem. Anyone who's got an idea of what exactly are we looking for? Are we looking for Tn or are we looking for n? This is where it starts. Are we looking for Tn or are we looking for n?
Think
I'm
so.
going to give you.
And
I'm looking for N.
Yes. So you know we are looking for n because you know you're looking for n. But I'm going to give you a very important tip. Minenhle, just in case in a different chapter, you get to a point where you know they want one of these two and you don't know which one they are looking for. Ask yourself, in case if from this statement you don't know whether you're looking for this or that, what is this? Ask yourself, what is that? This thing, is it n or is it tn? Because it's a fraction, it can never be a n, because we know n, it has to either be just 1, 2, 3, 4 or whatever. So automatically, or if you like, automatically, you know that 1 out of 64 is Tn. Then that means this is what you'll be looking. So these are some of the tactics that I discovered to say it's not at all the times where you can get confused by a question and never get a solution. Just ask yourself, if you get confused from what you are given, what is this? If you know what this is, then you can already make a conclusion to say, okay, that means they are looking for the other one. So now, what is the general formula for that? I think at this stage, everyone is aware that the moment they want n, you always get it from the general formula. So you don't have to drive around looking for that. You know, this is where you always, I think it's a r to the that minus 1. This is the general formula. So what we are given is 1 out of 64, which is equals to, what is a, Bantu Bakit? Is it not 4? I think a is 4. And what is our r? Is it not negative 1 over 2? I think r is negative 1 over 2 because this is our CR. CR, not Cyril Ramaphosa, Bantu Bagiti. This is common ratio to the power of n minus 1. Remember, guys, you need to substitute until you have one unknown, which is what you'll be calculating. So now, this is where it might get a bit tricky. Remember, guys, you need to remove everything associated with what you are looking for. What do I mean? So that means you need to remove that 4. That's why you have to divide both sides by 4 so that it cancels. It's more like you are remaining with negative half to the exponent n minus 1, which is equals to the whole of that. So I'm just trying to rewrite it nicely. Don't get it's more like you're saying 2 is equals to x is equals to 2. I just swapped those. It's one and the same thing. So let's see what is this thing. What is 1 over 64 on the side divided by 4? I'm getting 1 over 256. 1 over 256, yes. So now you ask yourself, what base could be negative 1 over 2 to the exponent something, and it gives you that same thing. So it's more like you want to know what is that power of which, when you say negative 1 over 2, because you want to make it the same as on this side so that you say same basis, they fall away. So what is that power of which, when you say negative 1 over 2 to the exponent of that power, it gives you exactly that? maybe let me explain how you work it out. You're going to say open bracket negative 1 over 2. You close, you say to the exponent. Maybe let's try 5. 5, it doesn't work out. Let's try 8. 8. Oh, yes. Yes. If you punch 8 there, that's when it gives you exactly that. So can you see? Now the bases are the same. They fall away. You equate the exponents. So that means n is equals to 9. Hey, this question, it was interesting, but it feels like we have done this question. Hey, it sounds familiar. But anyway, did you guys understood what I've done there? Or does it feel like it was a miracle what I've done there? I don't think it feels like a miracle. I don't think so at all. But now, let's see. This question is allocated 4 marks. Guys, are you sure you don't have a question?
So I have a question.
Yes.
So does this mean that every time we solve for this specific question, our n will never be a fraction?
Never. It will never be a fraction. N will never be a fraction. It will never be something comma something. So that is why I was saying when we started with this chapter, we're saying this is stand number 1, and in stand number 1 is 4 people staying. This is stand number 2. This is stand number 3. This is stand number 4. Ke bo maki batho ba. Ke bo maki, ke bo makhelwane. So can you see, you will never have your makhelwane having a stand number being 2,5, for example. It's either is stand number 1, stand number 2, stand number 3, stand number 4, stand number 5. So in stand number 1, you have 4 people staying there. Stand number 2, you have 2 people. Stand number 3 is 1 person. There, it's half whatever. There, so if you don't, it only makes sense if we make use of people staying in that stand number. Forget about that fraction there, because you can still refer to say bucket number 1, it has so many oranges. Bucket number 2, bucket number 3, here it's half an orange. And then whatever. So that is why we're saying n, it will just be a number. If you get a fraction, just know that kukhona ungahambi kahle if uyangithola ntombo. I'm pretty much sure that honorable member understood what I was saying there. But guess what? I'm going to give you a mark there. I'm also going to give you a mark where. Where else am I going to give you a mark? I think for you to rewrite that in that format, it's more like you simplified all of that. But remember, you substituted a and that. So I'll give you a mark for that. I'll also give you a mark for substituting that. And then last mark comes here, your final answer. So guys, give yourself a ticks where you need to. Then in the end, you will tell me how much you got out of how much. So it becomes a problem, for example, if you don't write and I'm not able to gauge if you guys understood or not. But if you participate, regardless of whether it is correct or not, it's going to help everyone. So now, is it a question coming through? I don't think so. This one also, it was an easy question. So let's see. 3.1.3. Today I'm moving a bit faster because I know we are actually doing a repeat of what we have done. So let's see. Calculate the sum to infinity. Sum to infinity. The moment a question says sum to infinity, and in this case, they still give you that. To say 4 minus 2 plus 1, 1, 2, 3. You know that you need to use that formula with the sleeping 8. This 8, not just 8, Bantubakiti, the sleeping 8, it has always been sleeping, always sleeping. And always when they say the sum to infinity, just remember that sleeping 8. And this is the formula for the sleeping 8. So now, very, very easy. What is your A value? Is it not 4? Bantubakiti. So let's put 4 there and say 1 minus. What is our ratio? Because we did that by that by that, and we got that. So this is your ratio, which is our Cyril Ramaphosa. So now let's see. There we are having our substitution substituted correctly. What are we getting for the sleeping 8? Remember, guys, this sleeping 8, it means infinity. So don't be in a situation where in class you're making noise and saying, that formula with a sleeping 8. Hey, everyone is going to die with a laughter and wondering,
3 over
what is
8.
this honorable member? Someone is getting 8 over 8. Did you say 8 over 8? Hey, I'm
No,
Tembelo.
8 over 3, sir.
8 over 3, sir.
Yes.
8 over 3, sir.
Yes, I agree fully with that one. So now, let's see how many marks for this question. But you see, 2 marks. Just to guess what? Just for correct substitution and for your final answer, because the formula is given free to you. So someone remember to mute their mics in case if there's no Nkwela, 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 Nkwela. Nkwela ka Joburg. Mute mic, honorable member. There must be a button on your screen where you can click to mute your mic. Okay. Mic muted. So remember, unmute in case if you want to ask a question. But if you are sorted, your mics to remain muted. So now, this is you giving yourself 2 marks for that question. So quickly, let's move on to the last question. So let's see. I think I will have to remove all of this because it falls under question 3. And then we are now, yes, we are moving to question number 4. So let's see. That means up to so far, we actually had a question for 9 marks, and the second one was for 12 marks. This one of 4 marks is for 13 marks. So let's see. 9 plus 12 plus 13. Oh, yes, it's 34. So that means this test, a very quick test, it was out of a 34. So if we are already sure with 9 and 12, so it's more like 9 and 12. Let's see. 9 plus 12 out of 34, it's equals to 61. So that means for this question, we are already sure of 61%. So if you get 61% for each question, that means finally your final mark will be 61. So let's try to push it to maybe a distinction and say for every question, just make sure that you get at least above 80%. Then you know if for every question you get at least above 80%, a distinction is guaranteed. So let's quickly have a look at this question number 4 and see what are we having there. So the statement reads as follows: an athlete runs along a
Says
straight road.
the point two, you did not
Aren't
do
you
it.
gonna do
The
3.2?
question is skipped.
Oh, hey,
3.2.
ningambulali bantu bakithi. Hey, ningambulali. Isandla phezu kwe. Yeah, you get it. If you don't get it,
Forget about it.
Forget about it. Okay, so quickly, let's try to work out this problem. So these are the kind of problems. I hope I copied it correctly. These are the type of problems where they are actually trying to test to what extent you understand this chapter. Let's see, they're saying if x is a real number. Can you see grade 10? If you don't know what a real number is, you are in trouble. So if x is a real number, show that the following sequence is the following sequence cannot be a geometric. Even if, for example, quasi, I don't know what a real number is, but the moment they say I need to show that the following sequence cannot be a geometric. So that means when you say this divided by that and you say this divided by that, you shouldn't get a common ratio. That's how you can prove that this can never be a geometric sequence. If it was a series sequence, you would say for you to prove that this can never be a, what is it, a linear or an arithmetic series. No, not series, but sequence. You would say this minus that cannot be equals to this minus that. But how do you do that? Because they're talking about x, it's more like you need to try and find out what that x value is, so that after you get in the x value, you can substitute it there and try to work it out. So let's see how far we can go with that. So the ratio, how do we calculate? So we calculate the ratio by saying this being x plus 1 over 1. And then we are saying this divided by that. So it should be that divided by that. Do you guys agree with what I've done in terms of formulating the ratio there? Do you guys agree with me there? Does it make sense to everyone? Silence in court. Kwenzeka ntoni apha? Bantu bakithi. Do you understand what I've done there, or does it need a further explanation?
I understand, sir.
We get
Okay.
you.
Okay. So now what I'm saying is we just know very well that this is supposed to be equals to that. Then let's try to solve for x and see what x value are we going to get. If we get an error, it means this can never be a geometric sequence. But if we get an x value and we manage to substitute it there and there, and we give a common ratio, then it means the opposite is the truth. But they've given you a hint to say, show that this sequence cannot be geometric. So that means you need to get an error for that x value. It should never be so how do you do that? So it's more like you already have that over 1, which is equals to that. So Mzozozo, this is what I mean at all the times when I say when you are in grade 12, we are not in the business of teaching you how to solve this type of problems. This is what is being done in grade 10. That is why you manage to pass your grade 10, you move on to grade 11, and then you get yourself in grade 12, but you still not be able to solve all of that. That is why I used to conduct those master classes. But they won't be applicable anymore starting from tomorrow, based on the fact that you do have an opportunity to say, I need to attend with the grade 10s just to sharpen my knowledge. So let's see, this is where you cross multiply. You do know very well that you cross multiply and you end up having a x plus 1, what is it? Hey, it's still x plus 1 most. then that by that, what are you getting there? I think you're getting x minus 3 because you're just multiplying it by 1. Let's keep it simple. Let's keep it simple and say dabada, 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 dabada. That was Chinese there. What is dabada? Dabada, it's x squared. What is dabada? Dabada, it's x. What is that? Dabada, it's x. Dabada is 1, which is equals to x minus 3. So now you are having x squared. What are those two? They give you 2x. Maybe let's take this to the other side so that it becomes minus x. We still have that plus 1. Maybe let's take that to the other side. It changes the sign. It becomes. Why do we do that? It's so that we can equate it to 0. But why would you want to equate it to 0? It's because you have a power of 2, meaning this is a quadratic equation, which you need to rewrite in this term. Hey, what is this minus that? Is it not positive x? What is this plus that? Is it not 4 equals to 0? So now, let's see. Obviously, we need to try and factorize that. If this is unfactorizable, then it means that's when we say we're getting an error, which is an indication that we don't have an x value which could make that to be a geometric sequence. So that is what I mean when I say this is where you apply your mathematical knowledge. And it doesn't come from heaven. I'm telling you guys, it does not come from heaven. You don't need to pray a lot for you to understand those or to know that. You need to do as many math problems as possible. And you get to a situation where you've done almost all those strange and unique questions. And if it comes again in exam, you know that, hey, these are those type of questions where they're trying to be tricky, but I've seen a similar question. So you won't learn this type of information in class. It's not available in your textbooks, but you only learn it through the question papers, which is why I recommend that spend much of your time doing the question paper. It's more like spend much of your time doing practicals instead of theory. So, guys, anyone who managed to factorize that using their head, or try to use that quadratic formula, and what are you getting?
Math error.
What does it mean, Hamisa?
Undefinable. Unsubstitutable. Cannot
In
be
other
substituted
words,
with other.
in other words, which is a confirmation that that sequence can never be a geometric sequence. I'm not sure if libandla la kaNkulunkulu niyizwile verse yanamhlanje ukuthi ikhuluma ngani, or this is where you score yourself a mark. With you doing that, I'm going to give you a mark. With you writing this in the standard form, I'm going to give you a mark. So obviously someone did substitute into that formula to try and factorize. I'm going to give you a mark. Then for giving a reason to support your understanding, to say, based on the fact that you're getting an error, it's an indication that this doesn't have that x value which will make it a geometric sequence. Whichever way you explain that, give yourself a mark. Only if you get to this stage where you got an error. But if you completely did nothing, or you did something completely different from what I've done, Bantu Bagiti, give yourself a very big 0 there with a smile on your face. Anyone who's got a question there, or can we quickly move on to question number 4? Lindiwe, siyenza njani ntombo? sichubekela phambili. Kutsho Thobejane, senza njani? Sichubekela phambili.
Yes, you can continue.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I'm just going to quickly remove all of that. Kusasoshuba bantu bakithi, kusasoshuba. This is just the beginning. It's going to be tough as we go deeper. So just make sure that you do not miss any of my upcoming lessons. Okay, so an athlete runs along a straight road.
There is no sound. I'm not hearing you.
But you are not audible.
Hello, I come back. Is it clear now, bantu bakithi?
Sir.
Okay, so I was saying, let me quickly do all of that and say 117, 210, it's going to be 3, 5, it's going to be 4, what is it, 4, 2. Just make sure that I'm copying everything correctly there. And then here we're having 6, and then here it is S. Okay, so let's see. The information continues to say, maybe let me start. His distance D from a fixed point P on the road is measured at different times N and has the form D of N is equals to AN squared plus BN plus C. The distance, none of the distances are recorded in the table below. So the first question says whatever. But before we even get to that, here comes a question. Do we know about the first bullet? Yebo noma cha? Do we know about the first bullet? Yebo noma cha?
Yes.
What is it that we know, honorable member?
Quadratic.
Yes, because of the given formula there, it serves as a hint. So since it's a quadratic, that means we're looking for the second common difference. So now, what will that be? What is this minus that? I think it's -7. Is it not -7? That minus that, I think it's -5. That minus that, I think it's -3. So what will be this minus that? I think that is going to be 2. This minus that is going to be 2 also. So can you see, we end up having our first difference, and then this one, it is our second common difference. So now we've done bullet number 2, then we can move on to the last bullet being attending to the questions. So determine the values of R and S. Easy. You work it from there going up. You know, these plus that, I think it's going to give you a -1. So That means if you say that plus that, it has to give you something. What will that be? Will it not be 1? I think it's going to give you 1. Am I correct, Bantu Bagit? I think it's going to give you 1. So that means for 4.1 R, we already say it's equals to 1. What about S? Then you need to continue to say, what is this plus that? This plus that, will it not be 1? I think it's going to be 1. Then what about that 1 plus 1? Will it not be 2? Hey, this thing, it looks strange, Bantu Bagit. Am I doing things correctly there? Are you guys getting the same thing?
I get the same.
I got 2.
I think so. It has to be 2. Yes, because we followed the correct procedure. So that means R is equals to 1, S is equals to 2. So how many marks? I think it's allocated 2 marks. Let me quickly check on the question. Is it? Oh, no. It's allocated 3 marks. So that means for you to complete this process that you've just done, give yourself a mark and then a mark there, a mark there. So that's how you give yourself 3 marks. So it's very much important that you show this process so that we are 100% sure that you did not borrow answers next door. I'm sure you understand what I mean when I say borrowing answers next door. It's like you borrow a Tupperware and you never return it, because once you've borrowed next door, it permanently remains on your script. So just make sure that you do not copy. You work out that, then we know that, okay, this is how they got 1 and 2. Give you a mark, and a mark. So
Can I
anyone who's got a
ask
question,
something
honorable
while you
members?
can I ask something while you are there? Can you
Yes.
see let's look at our second difference, ne? I want to ask something. Our first difference is -7, -5, -3, -1, and we said negative. We said -5 minus 7 is equals to 2. Then we say
No.
then we you are saying no.
No. Can you see Bantu Bagit? Very, very much important that
Okay.
all the times. Hey, Molebogeng, you need to say it. I'm going to punish you for this one. You tell everyone what to do at all the times. What are they supposed to do?
No, wait. No, now I'm seeing where I'm getting it. But I wanted to ask something because Konna, that the 6 there, it's not the 2, it's not 2 there. So I wanted to go there, but I just wanted to. Ish.
We're not over to shaya way. Over to
No, honestly,
What is it
wait.
that everyone must not do at
Yes,
all
I
the
agree.
times? Or
No, I agree with you. It's -5 minus -7, I get, which is
yeah,
positive 2. And then
which
it
is
becomes
positive 2.
yeah, yes, becomes -3 minus
Mm.
-5. I get. So what I wanted to, sorry for that. Forgive me
Yes.
for losing you. What I wanted to know, ke gore from more -1, wa bona mo first difference ya rona.
Mm.
I get more first difference ya rona gore
Mm.
-1 plus 2, ne? -1 plus 2 e re fa 1. I get. E re fa 1 ele e kodimo, ha 1 ele o ingwetseng mo R. I get.
This one, agree, it like our 2 plus -1, and then it gives you that.
Okay.
And then this one, it like our this plus
1.
that,
Okay.
it gives us that. Yeah.
Oh,
So
no, ke a
that's why
tlhaloganya now.
Nikele,
It's okay.
go move in that direction ke plus, that direction ke so, but most importantly, Bantu Bagiti, this is what I wanted to say. Hamisa will tell you that at all the times, make sure that if you are dealing with a negative value, always put it inside the bracket. So it's like a hot pot. If you don't put on the gloves, it's going to burn you big time. But I'm pretty much sure that honorable member um, will always remember that. So let's see. 4.2, they are saying determine the values of A, B, and C. A very straightforward question. Remember, this is what we were given. That is why Hamisa was saying this is a quadratic. It's there, it's given. It's there as that. So that means they want that, they want that, and they want that. They are not saying give us the general formula, but just A, B, and C. So if you remember, this is that one where we say, we know the formula says 2A, it's equals to that. Can you see how easy these things are, Pantipakiti? 3A plus B, it's a formula, doesn't change. It's equals to that, which is -7. And then we have what? A plus B plus C is equals to all of that being 7. It doesn't change. So you get A, that divided by that is 1. You go and put it there. So it's more like you're saying 3 plus B that. So it's more like you're saying B is equals to -7. You transpose is minus that, and it's -10. And then now you are having, what is it? Your 1, and then your B is -10 plus C equals to 17. Then you just say C, what is this minus that? I think it's -9. You take it to the other side. It becomes, I think, 26 as a positive value. Then you are done, because they said give us the A, the B, and the C value. It is as easy as that. By so doing, I'm telling you guys, I'm going to give you full 4 marks for just doing that. I'm not sure if you guys got the same values that I got. Again, we won't punish you if you then rewrite it as n squared minus 10x plus 26. We still won't punish you for doing that, because you are saying there is your 1, which is invisible. You have your -10. You have your C there. So if you have done up to this point where you got that, give yourself marks there. I'm not sure. Maybe the last mark, if you got this and that and that, consider the 4th mark being a bonus. But if I was the examiner, I was going to allocate this question only 3 marks. But this mark, it actually comes, it goes towards the method that you used to get those answers. Because
Sir,
through the method, we understand you did not copy. Yes. The
sir,
umis.
why am I my B is negative negative my B is negative 4.
-4. It's because you took that 3 to the other side as a positive. You forgot to change the sign. Remember, when you transpose, it changes a sign. So let's quickly check. So it's more like you're having 3 into 1 plus B, which is equals to -7. So this is like is 3 plus B, which is equals to -7. You take it to the other side, your B is equals to -7 minus 3. So yours is +3. That's why it gives you -4. You get it, most the umis.
No. Thank
I
you,
think
sir.
the umis. Okay. So anyone who's got a question, Bantu Bakit, anyone who's got a question there? Silence in court. means no objection, Your Honor. So now, hey, let me remove this part and then we move on to the next question. I'm pretty much sure that if we try to calculate and we realize we got distinctions, I'm going to give you that last question to think about. Let's quickly check there. Here they are saying this is 4.3 now. It says, how far is the athlete from P when N is equals to 8? You don't even need to think deep, Bantu Bagiti. Fact that they said where N is equals to 8. Wherever you see N, put 8 Bantu Bagiti. And then from there, punch all of that on a calculator, and then you're going to get something. Remember, that formula is given as D of N is equals to wara wara. That is why even here, I'll just say D of where N is 8, then it's going to be equals to 8 squared minus 10 8. What is that? That is plus 26. So when you punch all of that, what is the distance of that athlete? I think this athlete they're talking about me because I'm about to run away. 1 hour 22 minutes. At least it was worth it. We had to complete this. Hey, guys, remember, just make sure that this is not your last lesson, because if you guys paid but did not send proof of payment, you will be removed. Some of you guys might be removed soon after this lesson, because obviously it means you won't make it to tomorrow's lesson. So just be aware, it has been communicated multiple times that today it is the last day of trial lessons. So guys, did you get an answer there, or are you still fighting? Maybe let me calculate, because I know you guys, you go
I got
and do
it.
shopping before.
It's 10, sir. It's 10, 10, 10, 10, 10,
Hey,
10.
I don't trust you, honorable member. I'm going to do it myself. You guys, you get wrong answers. Hey, she's right. She's absolutely right. I'm also getting 10. So this 10, it is the distance that honorable member traveled after 8 seconds. So that's how you interpret that. So it's more like in real life, when you notice that, okay, after 1 second, this honorable member travels, 17 meters. After 2 seconds, 10 meters. Heaven. After 3 seconds, 5 meters. Hey, why is it like the distance is decreasing? Oh, because he's getting tired as time goes. 4 seconds, 2 meters. 5, 1, 6, 2. Hey, it keeps on decreasing. It seems like at some point it will get to a point. No. Wait. Because you are a mathematician, that means you can represent something diagrammatically. So let's see, how can we diagrammatically represent that? So you can say, as time goes on, is covering a distance, but at some point, he's no longer increasing speed, but now the speed is decreasing. So can you see? That's how you use a parabola to describe a situation. You can say he's increasing the time as it increases. At some point, it gets to a point where his distance now it starts to decrease. So this is what is going to help you on your next question. I'm glad we are now on functions where I'm going to teach you some more. And next time when we do revision, that's when I'm going to emphasize on this type of questions, because there are some questions, the omis, of which even if I explain now, you won't understand because you are not yet ready to understand those type of problems. That is why some of you guys find matric difficult is because they are explaining things of which it is not the starting point of those things. So just make sure that vulani madlebe and listen to everything that is being explained to you. It doesn't need to make sense all at once, but over time, when we do these things over and over again, it gets to a point where they feel like they are boring, because you already know that if, for example, what did we have there? I think for that formula of our dn, we got n squared. What was it? What was it? Negative 10n, and then we had plus 26. So can you see? This is a quadratic function. You ask yourself, is it a smiling or a sad shape? Because your a value is positive, then it means you are having this type of a parabola, which is a smiling shape, and it has shifted by so many units upwards because of that positive. So then you know that, okay, already I'm dealing with a smiling shape of a parabola. Then based on those questions, you might realize that at the turning point, something happens there. What happens at the turning point? This is where you are having change of direction or change of something. Just like when you throw a ball upwards, it gradually decreases until the speed is 0 at the turning point. And then now it starts to increase in the opposite direction. And when it gets to that same point, if it was projected at 10 meters per second, at that same point in the downward direction will be 10 meters per second. So just be aware that on a parabola, whether smiling or a sad shape, at the turning point, something is happening there. So that is why I'm saying, to a certain extent, you can be able to interpret some certain questions. So for this last question, I'm going to assume that all of you guys got it wrong based on what I've checked. So that means what we've covered in today's lesson, how much did we get? Let's say you guys said it's out of 34, and that last question is 4 marks. So if we take out that, that means you must have got 30 out of 34. So what is that as a percentage? Let's see. 30 divided by 34, it's equals to 8. Yes. Now that's too much. That's too much. If for every question you try to get that, a distinction is guaranteed. So maybe let me quickly check. If you were writing this test, it was out of 50. Let's see, 30 divided by 150, 20%. Already, by just answering these questions for number pattern, already, guys, 20% in the pocket. You look for another percentage under functions. Under solve for x. Solve for x, you need to get 100%. The first question, where it's factorize solve for x inequalities simultaneous, we have done that many times. You need to get 100% on those, and it contributes towards you passing a test. So if you can get at least 50% in paper 1, you need to also make sure that you get at least 50% in paper 2. And then this percentage combines, that will result in you getting at least a 50%, which is already a pass. But we aim for 80% because it's possible. Sure, guys, it's been a great pleasure conducting these lessons this month, even though it wasn't a masterclass. But this is what I want you guys to be aware of. This is how it's going to work. We are only going to have, I think, 2 active groups, where there is that one which is, I think, is 2023 lessons or something, where you guys write tests. Lessons, 2023 lessons. Yes, it's going to be that group, and under this group, that's where you will find we are going to consolidate the library to also be under this. That means everything in that group of the library where you joined, we're going to move everything into this one. And then you're also going to find about that one of career exhibition. You remember, guys, we had an event where we spoke about learners' issues, self-esteem, career, whatever. What do you remember, guys? That lesson is posted. No, the event is posted. And then we also have recorded videos under this same group. Then you have your grade 10, grade 11, and then grade 12 tests. Tests. This is where you'll be writing the tests. There's also that one, the new one that I forgot, it's added, is attend a live lesson. So in this one, that's where you need to click on a link for grade 12, if you're in grade 12, for grade 10, if you're in grade 10, for grade 11, if you're in grade 11. So that means you will only join this one group and the other one depending on the grade in which you are. Let's say you're in grade 12. So that means maths will be done in this grade 12. It's going to be maths, physics, geo, and life sciences. But remember, you will attend according to the package that you choose. So you access to these groups will be limited in a sense that everything will be based on the package that you chose. So guys, I'm not sure if there's someone who's got a question before Mzozozo says I can run away or balega inyawo zobili. But most importantly, I can assure you guys, if you did not choose a package, this was your last lesson. Anyone who's got a question, I think some more announcement will come as we continue. But for now, okay, this is what happens. Everyone who wrote a test, you're going to tell how much you got, maybe 20 out of 34. You just write it as 20 out of 34, send it via inbox. Then it's enough. I'm going to check where you went wrong and I'm going to assist you. If you don't send, I won't be able to assist you. Who's allowing me to run away today, Bantu Bakiti? Okay, before I forgot, the link or the code for today, just to show that you attended today's lesson, just type number 17. This is enough. You just type number 17. That is the code for today's lesson. I'm pretty much sure that you remember why we need to do that. So it helps to know how frequent you attend and which lessons you attended. Some of you guys, your parents are that much involved and they need to know if you are indeed attending. So everyone will be confused seeing everyone sending 17, not knowing what that is. Let's make it even worse, because some they'll just send 7. Just make it 17 dot. Yes, just to confuse the enemy. Okay, anyone who's got a question, guys, or do I sign out? Minenhle
So,
Umi. Yes.
sir, where are we going to write that 17 dot?
In this same group where you attended the lesson. Then starting from tomorrow, you'll be sending it in the class where you'll be attending your maths.
Thank you, sir.
Guys, do I sign out?
Yes, you can sign out.
Ladies and gentlemen, thanks very much for joining. My name is Desmond. You guys have a very good night, and I'm out.